Okay, all right, here we go. It is the Hot Seat Radio Show. I'm Donovan Sadiq. Welcome. It's been a quick minute. I am joined by Miss Deja. And, of course, the man on the right, Sean Fortine, the guy that you guys want to beat up if you guys can catch him. So anyway, a lot of stuff's been going on in the town of Moreno Valley. And I say town because we have small-minded people with big city ideas, and it just doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is. But Sean, you have a lot to go on the mic. Tell us what you got going on.
Well, they have big city ideas, but they want to just copy what everyone else has done.
Absolutely.
But one thing, I haven't been able to do this in a couple of weeks, but one thing that's been on my mind is Mayor Gutierrez's homeless plan.
His enslavement of our homeless population.
Whatever you want to call it.
That keeps attracting more and more homeless people.
Yeah, but he wants to hire the homeless people for a few bucks an hour to help clean up the city. The thing is, though, is that with no obligations, no set responsibilities, the homeless people can just go work a few hours, picking up trash or whatever, and then get the money and go buy drugs with it or go buy liquor with it.
And what's wrong with that?
Well, it's going to attract a lot of more homeless people that are looking for an easy fix.
Don't you think that's the mayor's plan and Ito's plan is to turn this place into a hellhole?
Hell's Kitchen.
Well, that's just downright evil if they are.
I mean, to me, it's just apparent what they're trying to do. As long as you keep attracting the sea urchins and the lowliest of the low, Google's not going to come in here. High-tech jobs aren't going to come in here.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's just like going to throw a couple bucks at the homeless for whatever they want to do with it and not offer any support services. I mean, he's talked about wraparound services, but he's not doing anything to try and get those services in here. The Three Stooges have no clue how anything in the county mental health system works. They haven't even tried to approach the county mental health system for any of this.
But why are you surprised? They're politicians. They're going to say what they got to say, as long as it looks popular and everybody's just, oh yeah, they're doing great. It looks great on the surface.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is that this is total crap, and they're using vulnerable people for their own gain.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, wait, you talk about vulnerable people? Isn't that what Ito does? You've got these Hispanic people who just want to work, and they might be from other countries, and he's using them to his advantage.
They're loyal to their own stomach. If I offered them a better dinner and bigger promises, they'd do whatever I wanted them to.
And that's the whole point. So I mean,
so now if Gutierrez does this homeless plan, then we're not even going to get the mentally ill homeless. We're going to get he's going to basically be like the crackhead Candyman, where all the crackheads, all the tweakers, all the junkies are going to come to Moreno Valley just for that few bucks a day, so they can go get their fix. And in the process, we're also going to attract a lot of drug dealers.
Of course. Let me ask you this: with all the people who are doing the right thing, working two jobs, why is he not, instead of putting his attention to the homeless people who are homeless for whatever reasons, why isn't he trying to bring real jobs to the residents of Moreno Valley who are looking for a better job than a warehouse and $9 an hour?
I don't know.
Or whatever.
Maybe if he actually showed up to his office every once in a while to talk to people.
By the way, did you get part of the town hall? I got connected this time. I didn't get my thing in the. I got to change my name. Next time I go, I'm going to change my name and say I'm Julio. Yes, he do great job.
Yeah, I changed my name to 14.
Yeah, 14 exactly.
No, but I haven't heard any of it.
And and the sad thing about the town hall, did you guys hear about the town hall? It was the same questions over and over again. Uninformed residents that kept, I want to talk to the mayor about the street. Everywhere in America, the infrastructure's screwed up because the rich people aren't paying their fair share of the taxes. So it's just messed up, Sean. I mean, so we know what the problem is. Yeah. You've identified the problem. So what's the solution?
Well, I don't know. Well, the solution is to put Daryl Terrell as the point man on all this, and have Pastor Don join him and a few others like them.
Sure.
But in the meantime, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, okay, let's look at it this way. If you've got people that are high on drugs, working for the city, what's the workers' comp and what's the liability going to be like when you've got druggies
right.
on the payroll?
Right.
No sane company would ever accept that liability. The city cannot afford that liability.
Right. And then how do you police those people in doing their jobs?
I don't know. That would cost a whole lot more than the $7 or $10 an hour or whatever they're offering.
I mean, and if the city's hiring like that, what gives him the authority to make a hiring program like that? And we don't have the revenue to do it. So what say you, Miss Deja?
That is crazy.
I mean, you're a taxpayer. You've been in the city for a long time.
That sounds like some Gotham, something coming off of Gotham, a TV show. Who does that?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I have a hard time trying to explain how Moreno Valley works to people that are outside the city. And they said, on numerous occasions they've said it sounds like some sort of TV show.
Yeah, It sounds like a TV show. It sounds like something off of Gotham.
I don't follow Gotham, but yeah, isn't that based off Batman and stuff?
Like Batman,
pre-Batman,
who mentally handicaps their own city. It's like you're handicapping your city,
and you're setting up for major liability.
Why would you want to do that?
Or the other one I've heard of is what was that show about the black lady that has connected to all the political scandals?
Oh, Scandal.
Oh, Scandal.
Scandal.
Yeah, I've heard. I've had a comparison to that. Occasionally, CSI or House of Cards.
House of Cards. Yeah. I mean, none of this.
The thing is, I have to tell people, look, you can't just make this stuff up.
Right. Well, you got to look at it like this too. They are doing this to bankrupt the city, so nothing comes here. They want this city to implode because when you do that, then the developers come in. Pennies on the dollar, because as people are leaving, we've been talking about white flight. People are leaving. You can get this land for penny on the dollar for nothing because everybody is leaving. The only people that are going to stay here are those people that are trying to avoid ICE. Okay? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about those people that are here in whatever capacity that have no legal status to be here. Okay, but Miss Deja, you have your friend with us, and she's been a long-time resident. Please introduce her.
I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Okay. Longtime resident, I know you want to come on the show and complain to the mayor and tell us how you really feel about how this city is running, because you've been here for 30 years. Okay. And you are from Edgemont.
Dang.
Actually, my name is Louise. And yes, I am currently in Edgemont / Moreno Valley.
Hey, and be proud of that. I'm from Edgemont too.
I just say Moreno Valley.
Moreno Valley. Right, there you go.
Moreno Valley. I'm on the offskirts.
Right. But if you Google it, Edgemont is still it's still on the Google Maps. Yes, it is.
Yes, it does say that. But this is the first time I'm hearing about this, and and it's kind of sad because I don't know what's really going on in my city. I need to get more involved in it. But it is good to know that the mayor is looking to do these kind of things because. First of all...
Wait, do you think it's a good thing that he's doing this?
No, I'm not saying it's a good thing. It's a good thing that you guys are doing this so that it kind of brings more attention to people like myself who did not know anything about this.
Okay, let me ask you this real quick. And I know being from Edgemont and, you're part of the Matrix. And when we say the Matrix on this show, we're talking about people like you guys that are working, and you're working so hard to live that American dream and all that other stuff that you're not paying attention to what's going on in your city because... When these idiots over at City Council and the school board make decisions, that affects you directly. And by the time you find out about it, it's too late.
Yeah, it's already there.
Right, and you got to pay it. Simple as that.
And it's really sad because, like you said, and a lot of people, they work outside the city. So then by the time they come home, everything that happened, all those meetings, they can't get to them because they work in LA.
Right.
I mean, just the traffic alone, just leave it out of here because no one wants to work here. Because there are no jobs.
Well, let me ask you this. You've been here 30 years, correct? Has this city ever been a city that provided jobs in your time you've been here?
No.
So why would you expect it? Why would you expect it to?
I honestly don't know. Because like I said, I've been here 30 years. Even myself, I don't even work in Moreno Valley. I work
Nobody
in Riverside.
does. Right. You want to make money, you have to go to where this has been a sleeper city.
We used to have stuff before the '92 recession when the base was open.
Yes, when the base was open.
Because we
got those pink sidewalks off of Sunnyview.
Yeah, those look like crap. But anyways, we had the base, so we had people with a decent some sort of
medium income.
Yeah, the base more income than welfare in Section 8.
Right. The base used to pump $50 million plus into the local economy.
Yeah, and they had a more or less clean criminal record. They were making sure their kids participated in school.
Yes.
And there was actually room to have like a little bit of amenities in the city. I mean, you
absolutely.
could. I mean, if those of us who have been here long enough could tell you all the stores that used to be here.
Right, like when they used to have the racetrack before they turned that into the mall.
The racetrack.
Which is
One of these
going down.
dumb decisions.
Yeah, there were a few family pizza places. I remember this because it was really little. There were a few toy stores that aren't here anymore. There's a frozen yogurt place that's now a smoke shop on Sunnymead Boulevard.
Yeah, I remember Sunnymead Plaza where they had the thrifty store and you used to go there and get the ice cream.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was good.
I don't know whatever became of that.
Yeah, it turned into a pick and save, then it turned into, I think, Big Lots now.
Yeah, we used to have. We used to have Safeway, Vaughn's, Pavilions, Alpha Beta, Lucky's, Stater Brothers. We had all kinds of grocery stores that used to be here, and then I know my mom used to like this little oak furniture shop.
Yes.
That was on Sunnymead. That for a while that closed down, and then it became a hydroponic farming supplies business.
Right.
I mean, that says a lot about what's happened to this town, and now it's like some smoke shop or check cashing place.
Like I said, in the 90s, you had a whole community of LA folks transplant themselves here in Moreno Valley. But back to what you were saying. So, I mean, being in the Matrix, how do you not know what's going on in your city? I mean, is it just because you're just that distracted with your family and stuff?
No,
or?
unfortunately, I don't watch a lot of TV. Actually, don't even have any cable at my house.
Good. Smart girl.
So,
yeah.
if I do want to watch something, I'll pop on some Netflix. Or
because you're not going to get any information on the TV. You're not going to. They hide all that.
I just thought, you know what? Why do I even have this cable on? So I turned it off. But most of my information would be like if I read the newspaper, which lately is...
You're not going to get it. The only thing you're going to get is corruption.
Right, just a little bit that, saying lately. Or the Moreno Valley Matters, that's on the Facebook.
Oh, my God.
Sometimes I look at that, and it has some good stuff, and then sometimes it's just a bunch of garbage.
Yeah, in your honest opinion, do you realize that Moreno Valley Matters is an Edo-backed propaganda page?
Well, I would think yes, because people are just putting whatever they feel on there.
Yeah, it becomes like a penny saver and all this other,
Right.
Yeah.
I lost my cat.
Right. I lost my cat. I mean, there are some good things. So, I mean...
Every once in a while, there's something good on there that they cover where the press enterprise, about local news, or the press enterprise was asleep at the wheel.
Right.
But most of the time...
But say something against the WLC and watch how you get attacked on that page.
Right. So. And, and I think the only useful thing was, I want to say it's Semi Ranch, when they had that big drug bust, and, saying that was on there. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, but you'll never see anything negative on WLC on that thing, or just even if you had an opposite opinion, they will attack you without fail. So, so I understand that. What do you think about what the mayor has been doing and how he came into office? Matter of fact, let me ask you a better question. You're a District 1 resident just like myself. How do you feel about your representative right now? Do you even know who the representative is?
Unfortunately, no, I do not.
You do not know who your representative is?
No.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Have you heard of this criminal named Victoria Baca?
I've heard of, yes.
She is now your representative. Now, how do you know who was your representative before Victoria Baca?
No.
Have you heard of
Baca for a long time?
No, it wasn't Baca for a long time. She was only there for 2 years, and then she got recalled. It was a lady named LaDonna Jemison.
I got into politics a lot. I do vote.
Sure.
And I'll read the measures and different things that's going on, but I have never been one to really follow politics because, to me, in my opinion, they're just all crooks and they'll say what you want to
Absolutely.
hear. And then at the end of the day, when they get into office,
Absolutely.
they go and do
What did I promise? Of course.
And just change everything. So it's like, why do I want to follow somebody who's just going to go ahead and renege on what you just said that they're going to do?
Right, but while they're in office, they're robbing you deaf, dumb, and blind because guess what? You've been so turned off, and you're not an anomaly by yourself. There's a whole bunch of people that think like you, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what you're not realizing is because they know you're going to be so turned off, they're going to go over there and rob you, which is what they've been doing. Because look at what they're building in this city. You've been here 30 years. It's okay to have a few warehouses in a city, but where are these warehouses supposed to be? Here in Edgemont. That's the original strategic plan. They were supposed to be over here in this area because we're near the interstate, rail, and the air base. But where are they putting it? All over the city.
All over, yeah.
And this is what they're building for your children.
Right, because like
warehouse shops.
My son is 18, and he's been looking forward, and everything that he's pretty much had has been warehouse.
Right.
He has not.
And he hates it.
He hates it, and right now, unfortunately,
Has he ever had a permanent job at warehouses, or is all the temporary stuff?
no, it's just temporary. He just, he graduated last year, so he's been out of school for about a year now. But everything that he's worked at has always been the warehouse. He's worked at Amazon warehouse. He worked there. That's like, to me, everybody and their mama, they worked there. It was back in the
Kunta
day.
Kinte.
It was StarCrest.
Starcrest
You got
temp
it at
agencies,
school,
yeah.
Everybody worked at StarCrest. What are you working at? StarCrest. What are you working at? StarCrest. So now, what do you work at? Amazon. Everybody works at Amazon.
Right, for 90 days, for 89 days.
And then you
Right.
get fed up with it, and you get tired of
Or
it.
they put you out.
And they put you out.
Yeah, or they just lay you off and get someone else for 90 days, so they don't have to.
Right,
give them
and that's what
benefits
they
or
did
anything.
with my son. So, unfortunately, you have to be 18 to work in a warehouse.
Sure.
Somehow, some way, my smart child was 17.
Okay.
So
He was going to
worked
turn
there.
a certain age at a certain time.
Yes, he was 17. He worked there for 3 months before they even realized, hey, you're not 18, because he didn't have his driver's license.
Sure.
He didn't have a California ID. So when he got hired, he had his school ID.
Right.
So they kept saying, hey, we need you to go ahead and
But-
bring your ID.
A school ID that doesn't
That shouldn't
show
give up
Social
flags.
Security.
Yeah.
That doesn't show your age. That doesn't show anything.
No.
Birth certificate.
So what does that tell you? Whenever a logistics company looks at a city, they look for a high Hispanic Black population, because guess
Right.
what? Right here in Edgemont, we have a lot of people that are voting ICE. So if your son was able to work with a high school ID, why do you think these warehouses are here?
Right, because you don't have to have the proper identification.
And they
to
don't
go
care.
ahead. And
They
then
want
like
your
you
background.
said,
You don't know
Right.
who you're hiring.
Exactly, and they don't care.
right, because then they're going to go ahead and switch it over because, oh, wait, we found out that you're illegal.
Right,
and
after
you're not able to work
89
here,
days.
So now I'm going to bring in the next Joe
Right.
or the next Jane,
Right.
whatever, and come and do that. And so they finally was like, okay, hey, you know what? You're not 18. But they let him go right before his 18th
Of
birthday.
course.
And then told him, hey, you know what? Now that
You could
you're
come
18,
back.
you
Yeah,
can come
come
back,
back.
but you have to wait 60 days. So in the meantime, he's worked at other warehouses. He's worked at DSMI, saying, other little temp agencies, but it's not a real job.
Right. What does he want to do?
Honestly, my child is very lost.
And why
He
is
does
that?
not know what he wants to do. And like you guys are talking about different grow houses and this
Mm-hmm.
and that, the world wants to go ahead and put that impression, hey, this is what is good. Just like they try to force you on different political views on, you know what? Everybody should love each other. No matter what sex you are, it's okay. I'm sorry, I don't believe that way.
Sure.
So, hey, you're 18, saying, quick, easy $1, you're going to go ahead and work at the grow house. And I'm trying to tell him that's not something that you want to do. Because
It's not a
when
career.
When you get older, you're my age, you want to have something to fall back on. I don't want you to be where I'm at. I want you to be better than me. So that is not an option. And if that is your option, you can't live at my house. You have
Right.
to go.
But how do you? But how can you tell a child that when the American dream? We're at the end. We're at the end of days, however you want to say it.
I believe that.
So basically, this is the generation that will never do better than their parents.
They're not, because they have everything right there. They don't have to really work for it. They don't have to research everything because they have everything at the tip of their hands.
Right. But what I'm
Well,
saying is there's not enough jobs out there. So even if
enough
he's
jobs,
striving,
Right. There's
you're
not
going to
enough
have to leave.
jobs.
People our age, we have to leave the city to get a well-paying job. That's just the bottom line. It's the bottom line.
There's just nothing out here. And then it's really sad that, you have to drive 2-3 hours.
But it's always been that way, though. Here, it's always been like that here, and everybody knows that. I mean,
Right.
we are a sleeping town. That's why people. The reason why people moved out here to begin with is for the cheap housing.
Yeah.
So if you made that sacrifice, you're not going to leave a job in LA that you've been on for 12 years
Right.
and say, you know what, I'm going to come out to Moreno Valley and go work at Taco Bell when I was making $25 an hour over at.
Up until about 20 years ago, there were construction businesses that did work mostly in Moreno Valley, and
Sure.
you could work locally and make some okay money. But eventually, as the development slowed down, those jobs went away too.
Sure.
Yeah, because you don't have
Jobs
anything
slow
to go
down,
ahead
and so did the economy.
Right. So, Miss Stasia, let me ask you real quick, and keep that thought and come back to you. Track season starting.
Yes.
So-
well, not just yet.
Not just yet, but it's coming up. It's gearing
It's
up.
coming up.
So,
It's coming up.
so how's the team doing? What's going on?
So far, the team hasn't started just yet, but I've been telling my daughter, stay on it. Right now, she's working with the football team.
Okay.
So it's her daughter.
Wait. Is she playing on the football team?
No,
the water girls.
Oh, is it the water girls?
Yeah,
Okay,
because the track coach is also the football coach.
Okay, so he's
So
keeping
they
them
always
close.
keep them
close.
Keep them the number
You got-
one stars.
Yeah, you got to keep the stars close because,
and always making sure they stay fit.
Right.
So she's in her weight training class
with the
make
guys
sure,
doing their thing,
you know,
working out. Mm-hmm.
working on her muscles, working on her statue,
Right.
whatnot. So I'm
Right.
kind of excited.
This year, are we going to CIF? Is that what it's
Man,
called?
yes,
I would hope so.
I mean,
I would hope so
hoping
because my
to.
daughter runs track as well.
so okay.
I
Yeah.
would hope so.
And what grade is your daughter in?
10th.
She's in 10th, and she goes to Myrtle Valley High School.
Mm-hmm.
Whoop, whoop. So that's good. That's right down the street from my house. So I'm gonna represent that. Since you guys got kids in the school district, are you guys aware that Measure M, which was a $400 million bond, sold on the aspects of a fifth high school? Now the fifth high school is not going to happen. How do you guys feel about that?
From my understanding is that they're not doing the fifth high school, so they are trying to improve the different schools. Like Canyon is finally after
Getting a stadium.
20 some odd years. Why you would even build a high school? First of all, without a stadium, and now
Sure.
20 something years you want to go ahead and disrupt what's going on at the school to go ahead
And the traffic.
right, and the traffic to go ahead and do it. Why didn't she do this
In the first place.
Okay,
place?
I'll answer that real quick. Moreno Valley.
There you go.
They was using the money doing stupid stuff.
Doing stupid stuff. And
course.
then now, even though like in Winter Valley High School, they're doing it. And I see the traffic as I'm going to go to work. They have Edgemont Elementary School.
Yes,
That
finally,
school
50-something years.
Has been
60 years, yeah.
What
Since
is
the
it?
50s.
We're working on 2 years now that they are still building this school. Poor kids are going to school during all this construction.
Of course.
But yet you have an apartment complex right across the street that is now up and ready when they started around about the same time.
Right about the same time. He had different building codes, different funding sources. There's a lot to it more than that. And then,
Permits.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then
permits.
in the apartments, as regards to the apartments, you know why those apartments were built like that, right?
They're built like that so that they can go ahead and house all of the new people that are coming in for these wonderful warehouse jobs.
Yeah, slaves need quarters, but the main reason they're building these low affordable housing, they call it affordable housing, which is a keyword for Section 8, to get the niglets off the east end of the city back into Edgemont like it was back in the 90s. And that's the whole key because, let's face it, they're not going to rent real Edgemont property. All the people coming from LA are not going to come over and say, I want to move to Edgemont. They're moving to the east side and tearing up that side of the city. That's why you see the helicopter always over there. It's not over here because they ran the gangs out of here back in the 90s. You know, so
I've noticed that the police helicopter usually doesn't come north of Ironwood a whole lot.
oh yeah, well you guys live in a hidden springs.
I'm not up that far, but
in that area.
it's still a relatively decent area for Moreno Valley. And the thing about Canyon Springs is that it's been over capacity for most of its history. So basically, the traffic is hopeless no matter what you do.
Right. And
They'd have to like completely redesign the
Sure.
Oh, the
streets.
streets.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that way.
And then since we're talking about the elementary school, $400 million. I still see the Connex boxes or the extended
Right.
things. They're still there.
They're still there.
Why haven't they been removed? It's been 2 years because that started. The bond passed over 2 years ago. Whatever it was. Why they said that was to get rid of that stuff and upgrade, right?
Well, they can't get rid of it just yet because they're still building the school.
But
The only thing that was really complete was the office. That was the first thing that was up. Boom.
right, that's at elementary. But I'm talking about like at Moreno Valley and things
Oh,
like that.
right.
$400 million.
Right. And then, like, my kids, they go there. They're still in the portables. You know,
The
that's what
portables,
call
and I
them.
took my very first RCC class at that portable that's over there at Moreno Valley.
Really?
And it's
Still there.
crazy because my kids are like, okay, like my daughter, for example, she's in 10th grade, and she's saying, by the time I graduate, I'm pretty sure the school will probably be finished. You know, they have their gym. It's tore down right now.
Of course.
Where are you supposed to go and practice? You got a basketball team. Where are you practicing at? On the nasty,
Asphalt.
that's out there?
That's
That
right.
you're going to trip and fall and hurt
That's
hurt
it.
yourself. But I don't know. It's kind of disappointing. And the only reason why I lived here, I moved away,
Sure.
then I came back.
Big
And-
mistake.
and
Big
again,
mistake.
like you
Moving
said,
back.
because of affordable housing. Because I figured, okay, I have a little 3-bedroom apartment. Yay, I get a 5-bedroom house. But now my goal is to move out of the city because it's just doing nothing but bringing people down. And it's just going to suck you in.
Of course.
And if you don't stay focused on your kids, then to me, your kids are just going to go ahead and get sucked down too. And there's just nothing really here.
So let me ask you, as a mother and just as a parent, both of you guys actually, do you want your kids to stay here in Moreno Valley or a town that you raised them in, or would you prefer your kids like me? I think that's ludicrous that I want my kids to stay here. I want them to go away and live their own dreams.
I told you I want my daughter going with the airport.
Yeah.
You already know. Bye.
Right.
I don't want her
told my
staying
kids
here.
that too. So
not.
again, I have 3 kids. My youngest one, she is adamant on going to college.
Good.
I told her I want you to pick a college, preferably out of state.
Right.
Therefore, you can go ahead, explore your options.
Get some experience.
Get some experience, meet different people, because California is just so over dramatized.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you go out of state, you're going to meet real people.
Different
You're
people.
going to meet humble people. California, you're not. I don't care if you go up north, down, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
Yeah, we're
in
very
California,
superficial
you know?
here. We're very superficial.
So I would like for them to do that. My other son, I told him he wants to go to the military, go to the military, because then you get to travel. But again, that's the reason why I really want to try to, if I do buy me a house, I do not own a house.
Sure.
I rent. So I want them to move out of the city, because I came back. It was good for a little bit. I've been back here for maybe 6-7 years now. And I kind of wish I didn't come back. The only good thing that I have is I try to keep my kids involved in church.
In church.
So
We do that.
wherever we
Can I ask you
go,
what church you're in?
Moreno Valley Church of Christ.
Church of Christ. Okay. Okay.
So we do a lot, and my kids are not perfect. They're like everybody else's kids. They're can be a handful, but I want them to not only be involved in school stuff, but also to do stuff with the church.
Absolutely.
And then also there we can do community service.
Sure.
Because like you're saying, with the mayor wanting to get people who are on the streets or are homeless that, are possibly on drugs or alcohol or have a mental issue, they're the ones that are doing stuff. But if we have the kids that see this stuff that's going on, then they know, I don't want to be on the streets. This is not the life that I want to do. So we want them to go ahead and be more involved in the community.
Right. Well,
You would think that the mayor would get with some of the pastors of all the churches of Moreno Valley and try to do something.
well, remember, you have to have the division of church and state. It's very, very,
Yeah.
very, very.
Divided.
It's very politically. You
Yeah,
got to
you
be
can't-
careful.
you can't-
You
yeah.
got to be careful because, like I said, I don't believe as a taxpayer my money should be funding churches. And you saw Joel Osteen and all these people that are,
I agree with you on that.
there's no way to manage
Well,
that
I can
and fund that.
say that the church that I do go to is not a mega church.
Right. Right.
We actually do stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
We don't.
Absolutely.
We're
Absolutely.
not that
The-
Joel
Absolutely.
Osteen kind of thing. No.
The churches can take up initiative on their own, and
Sure.
to get together and do something.
and the mayor can support
Support it.
That's what I'm
that.
saying.
But
Right.
so there is ways the mayor could do it if he really was motivated to.
Right.
do it.
Well, we have an idiot mayor that is nothing more than a devil himself. So,
No, he doesn't even work his other job.
right. I mean, so.
Well, he does now since he didn't get that six-figure raise.
Did he?
in the
Did
city?
he go back to work?
That's what I heard.
Okay. Speaking of which, did you hear about the mayor wanted a raise?
Yes, I did see that
What-
part, and it's like, why?
What
do
was
you-
your thought on
why do
For
that?
a part-time job.
Right. Why do you think you deserve a raise? What are you doing to deserve this raise?
Mm-hmm.
I've been on my job for 11 years, and I can't even get a raise.
That was a 700%
And
raise.
it's like, it's like, really?
And then what do you do with the city manager an assistant city manager who were paying almost $600,000?
That's just crazy.
That he wanted no changing in his duties of what he was doing. He wanted a 700% raise. But see, this is what they
That's
do.
why he needs to not be an officer.
Right, but this is what they do because you're so busy in the matrix. By the time you realize what's going on, it's too late.
It's the same thing that's going on with our, what is it?
Yeah. With our
Secretary Treasurer who got caught.
up on the national level,
Yeah.
yeah.
On a national level. Just
Well, that's-
using taxpayers' money.
That's what they do. That's
Going trips to Europe.
that's how the program works. That's pretty much how. That's why I tell people if your son wants to do a job, we have a kid that's 22 years old right now. He's a city councilman. He wasn't even a resident here, so we pay him on average $2,200 a month with his
Something
benefits
like
and
that.
stuff like that. Wasn't even a resident here. How do you feel about a developer owning your city?
It's just not right.
How do you feel about the WLC? Have you heard of the WLC?
Now, what is a WLC?
Wow. The WLC. That was probably the biggest, how would you say it, John? The biggest decision of this city's thing. This is a 700
I don't know if
football
it's the
field.
biggest, but it's definitely the most
controversial.
contentious.
Yeah, contentious. 700 football field warehouse on the east side of the city.
Where at in the city?
Like
On the east side, on that open field, toward Beaumont.
Really?
700 size of 700 football fields. Imagine that, a warehouse.
Wow.
How come you did not know this?
I mean, I heard about the different warehouses that are coming, but maybe I just didn't hear about the name. But I heard about the different.
So let me ask you about warehouses. Do you think we've had enough, or should we just keep bringing more?
I think we've had enough. I think we have too many warehouses. And
Where's the revenue? Ask yourself that. Where's the revenue?
So why can't other cities go ahead and have a warehouse? Why do
Well,
we have to
Riverside
have
does.
all
They
of
put it
them?
right there on the interstate on the other side.
Right.
But
But they don't have them all over.
of course not, because they are a master plan city. When you're in Moreno Valley, it's a free-for-all.
They have some on the northeast side of town, but they're also by rail and
Right.
near the 215.
I bet
and
you
the
they
10.
help contributing to the city too, paying for the streets and all that stuff. Even though ours aren't.
Yeah. Most likely, for us to have Amazon here, we gave away the house.
Yeah.
Just jobs. All you gotta do is say jobs in a highly Hispanic city. And I'm not bashing Hispanics. I'm just saying they're hardworking people. They just want to work. They want to be slaves. You just say that. But see, the problem is I have neighbors right over here that are not from this country originally. And he comes to me and he goes, Donovan, my son, I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. He doesn't want to work. He doesn't. I said, because he's Americanized. American kids are not going to go and do what dad does and, go out there and landscape and work with his hands. He's not going to do that. He wants to live the American dream. You're living the Mexican dream. He goes, yeah, I don't know. And this is where we're at today. And that's how these warehouses take advantage. You don't see warehouses in Beverly Hills.
No,
You don't see warehouses in any predominantly master plan city. Marietta, do you see any warehouses over there? No. Almost none. Menifee, brand new cities. We're the second biggest city in Riverside County, and we're inundated with warehouses. Jobs are available all over the place, and people are unemployed. Please explain that to me. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I have no logical answer for that right now.
So anyway, as we move on, but no,
that.
I'm kind of glad you came on the show because this is the problem in our city because it goes to prove our point. This is why they chose Moreno Valley because we are a commuter city, so the majority of the people are not paying attention to what's going on. And that's why our show started, and we do what we do to try to ring that alarm bell and say, hey, this is what's going on. And social media is just like killing them because when the alarm goes out, it goes out. Then that's when you guys are like, huh, what? You want to lynch people. So stuff like that.
They don't like to answer the questions. That's what it is.
Yes. Have you ever been to a city council meeting?
No. Actually, no. Hold on. It wasn't a city council meeting. It was a school board meeting.
Meeting. Okay. Are you aware, since your child is still in school, you have kids still in school, are you aware that there's a school board member that believes in forcible rape? Are you aware of that?
That believes in forcible
He believes in forcible rape. He believes in homophobic, racial, and sexist tweets. Are you aware of that?
Who is this person? Because I don't know.
Why don't you know this stuff?
I do not know this one.
Now, you have a daughter and a son still in school?
Mm-hmm.
This man is going to be around your children. He believes in forcible rape.
How do you believe in forcible rape? How do you think that's
Well, he made
rape?
this weird video with action figures and a Barbie doll about. I don't even know how to describe it really.
Barbarian type, and he's simulating forcible rape.
And but the thing is that he had that and a bunch of other stuff on his social media, and he never actually apologized for it. He said, "Oh yeah, it was part of like this."
He was doing a
video
comedy
contest
routine.
or comedy routine. And
There's nothing fun
last
about,
I heard,
funny about someone
last
being
I
raped.
I heard after the comedy routine, he said something about a video contest.
Yeah, he keeps changing the story,
And
but
he never actually apologized. He just explains what he's doing. He
right. And
doesn't
a lot
care.
of people say when I make that allegation that what I'm saying is not true, I'm slandering this man. He admitted to everything that I say. That's why he doesn't sue me because it's true.
It's true. Right, but how do you even justify someone being raped is okay? I just don't.
I don't know how to do it, but as a parent, your child is around this man.
That's just
So how do you feel about that? And why don't you know this?
because I need to be more involved. But if I'm not here, started to be involved, it makes it a bit more difficult.
No,
And
I-
like I said, to kind of find out after the fact.
Sure.
Because you get letters in the mail about different
Oh yeah,
things
and they're not going to
that's
tell you
going
that part.
on. Right. And, you know, you hear different things. But it's like, really, this is really going on? And you find out after the fact, and then it's just too late. I
Right,
think.
but I'm glad you came on the show. You've got these platforms. Social media will keep you more involved. But what it is, I tell people, having the MVUSD app, that ain't going to tell you what's really going on about these school board members.
Right.
Okay, so you really got to go to different platforms, and like Moreno Valley Matt, don't go to that, but find something that.
The thing is that some of them are good, and some of them have really pretty mundane lives. But then
Right.
you've got Evan that's making the rest of them look bad.
Right. Yeah, he's making them look bad. And then this school board member also will get on social media, and he works for Highland Fairview, the developer that's causing all the problems here. But again, this guy believes in forcible rape, and he is around your daughter and your children. So as a parent, I would strongly advise you to send an email to the superintendent and say that this is unacceptable, and let your other mothers and family members know that
Right.
this is
Because, I mean,
you have a predator sitting on
around
the
the
school
school.
board that you guys, and then you're using your tax dollars to pay for it.
that is just,
Scary, ain't it?
yeah, it's just scary.
Only in Moreno Valley.
And
Only in Moreno Valley. But Sean, national level wise, Houston, what is going on down there, and who is doing all the?
Oh yes,
Good
we
stuff.
touched on faith-based activities or faith-based charities a minute ago, but now the Daily Caller and USA Today are reporting that nonprofits are doing 80% of the relief work in Houston and Florida now, and the biggest one is Samaritan's Purse, run by Franklin Graham, Billy Graham's son. They have resources spread worldwide to pull from. In fact, Samaritan's Purse thanked FEMA for helping expedite all the customs paperwork to get all their heavy equipment from Canada to Florida.
Are they in Florida or in Houston?
They've got all their U.S. based relief efforts are in Houston, and then when Hurricane Irma hit, they had to bring in equipment from Canada to cover Florida.
Wow.
And then there's other groups like the Seventh-day Adventists have a great logistics infrastructure to move relief supplies. The Methodists have relief workers and crisis counselors, and they even have people to help. They even have case managers to help people navigate the FEMA bureaucracy.
Okay.
And so 80% of that is through faith-based or through nonprofits, and FEMA is only doing about 20% of the work. And then 75% of those are Christian. I mean, yeah, there's like some Buddhist and Hindu relief groups too, but overall, by the time you have FEMA and all the other groups, 60% of the work being done is through nonprofit. Christian groups.
Well, we know Joel Osteen isn't one of those groups, so
well, I can see our church actually helped.
helping down there.
Yeah, we did because we took contribution.
And who's your pastor over there? Let's give him a shout out.
Well, we don't call him pastor. We call him minister. Or
A minister. Okay.
his name is Wade Osborne. We actually have 3 different ministers. Wade Osborne, we have Sam King, and Gene Tripp.
Okay.
And we have taken a collection to go ahead and send out because based in Tennessee, the Churches of Christ Relief, they do that for disasters. So what they do is they get the money, saying go down to Tennessee and they disperse. So
Wait. A member of your church goes down there?
no,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
okay.
No, they're based. In
Okay, based
Tennessee.
there. Gotcha.
So it's like that's their job.
Right.
So it's whenever there's a
Got it.
disaster. And so what they do is, of course, they're going to help home, but then they're also going to help everybody else as well, too.
Right on.
So if we had something going on in California, we had a big earthquake or something, then, we'll have relief out here that they would help us, too.
Okay.
But it's not just for the Church of Christ. It's for everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
so we
That's
do
awesome.
donations all the time.
Yeah, and notice
So does
that I didn't
so
say
does this show. No, I'm just-
Notice I didn't say anything
Actually,
about
we
the
probably
Red
should,
Cross.
Donovan.
We-
The Red
Right.
Cross don't donate to them. They're most of their money goes into
administrative fees and
Don't do
things
it.
like that.
I see a different thing.
Dang,
on that,
Bill,
on
what do you
different,
eat?
Yeah, sorry. She's been eating a lot of cat food and stuff.
Yeah, on the different things of where you should donate and where you should not donate because of how they get paid.
Right.
And
March of Dimes.
March of Dimes. Just like Goodwill. It's like you're donating all your time and your money and your
And it's not even getting to the people that need it.
To the people who need it, and the people who are in charge of these organizations are living lavish, but yet you're supposed to be helping the people who need it.
and then on the other hand, you've got groups like Samaritan's Purse that'll accept boxes of supplies and stuff instead of money.
Right, which is really good. Which is really good.
Smart.
So, Miss Deja, you're getting ready to move to a bigger house, and you're moving up onto the east side. Things are just going great. And in that time, what have you been up to? What's happening?
What's happening?
Yeah.
Just working. A lot. Just been working. Even today, I even worked.
Yeah, I know.
today.
Yeah, we were supposed to do the show earlier. We're waiting on her to come in and do that. But I want to ask you about your hair.
Okay.
We have been talking.
Every time you see me,
Yes, it's a different hairstyle.
You don't know who's coming to your door.
We've been talking about doing a show where we can kind of show hair tips and
Yes, and skin tips too. Actually, I have a group of girls I already started talking to and whatnot. They're excited. Can't wait.
Okay.
Can't wait for Tay. I'm sorry, Tay.
Yeah, she's
Hope
been
you
sick.
feel better.
She's been sick. Yeah, she's been sick.
Can't wait to see you again. I don't want to catch a cold.
Yeah, I don't want to.
But we're excited to actually come on and do that.
Okay.
So, gonna go over there, do some hair tips, and have some hair models.
How long did it take to
I
do your
did this
braids?
myself.
How can you do that? How do you get the back of it?
I go like this.
For everybody that didn't see that, let me describe. She put her hands behind her head.
Gotta be flexible.
Right. I guess. How long did it take you?
It took me about 8 hours, but I stopped.
Yeah, stop and
stopped,
cook and do what you gotta do. And
eat,
do what you gotta do. Okay.
run the trip, run the errand.
Right. On average at work, you guys are. It's wintertime at your job right now, so things kind of slow down in the wintertime as things are coming up.
They do, but then
It'll pick up depending on.
we have a lot of paperwork and other stuff that we got to do. So.
Absolutely. And you have a running schedule.
Yes,
Yeah, it's a running schedule. Okay, gotcha.
And to top that off, now that we do internets now too, so it's more based like Amazon too. So not only are we shopping, people are shopping.
They're coming in,
the store,
and the thing you guys have to pull the
we gotta
items
pull
and
the
be
items
ready,
from
to
the
go.
internet too. So
Wow, golly. See, and that's how they
it's
keep
not
us
slow down.
That's how they keep.
You got
us
to
busy,
evolve
keep us
with the
busy.
times,
Right, but still, I mean, we got to start like you were
I
talking
know,
about a
that's
while
why I
back,
have
getting
to
our
do
own
my hair.
businesses and
Yeah.
getting things like that. When are we going to
I'm
start talking
ready.
about that?
Yeah, I'm ready.
How do we
You're
do-
gonna have to get with me so then we can do our stock thing.
Absolutely, I sent you that stock thing to show you how to
know.
do that. Yeah. As a matter of fact, my stock just paid dividends yesterday.
It did.
It sure did. Amen.
Where do you have your stock in?
A little bit of everything. Facebook, and we're going to talk about that, how to do money. I have a friend of mine that does money investing. He'll come on the show and we'll
I was
share
telling
that.
him that he should get a group of guys, young guys and girls, mentor them and show them how to do economics and stocks and whatnot.
Which the
Stuff
school
like
should
that.
be doing, but unfortunately, that school only teaches you
Well,
greed.
I think schools should be teaching them a whole lot more than what they teach. I think they should have an economics class that teaches them how to write checks.
No, you
how
don't want to do
balance-
that because if you teach you how to write checks, then the district attorney can't prosecute you and put you into the prison industrial complex.
When I was in high school, they had a
Home ec.
home ec, or actually it
Yeah,
was
we did.
they actually had an accounting class, but accounting class was just a class for the people that couldn't hack it in algebra.
In algebra, and I was in that accounting
I was
class.
gonna say, yeah, I
So I mean,
remember
it's not actually like
the
there.
checks and all that
It's
kind of stuff.
so yeah, you can teaches you a basic checkbook, but it's interesting that the personal finances. For the class that teaches personal finance was going for the kids that weren't going to have
Right,
like
having that kind of money.
have like the dividends and the capital gains
Right,
and all that. They're
exactly.
just gonna like punch the clock.
Exactly.
So yeah, that needs to change along with
Absolutely.
it. Like
Well, if they had that, then they should be teaching the kids how to save, how to invest your money.
No,
how
you don't want to do that either
Yeah.
because the mentality is not to save. But we're going to talk about that in our second part. And this has been the Hot Seat Radio Show, Loving the Skin I'm In. And we are talking to new people that are now awakened to what's going on. We'll continue this in the second hour, guys. Stand by.